My name is Mrs. Clara Nwokedi, a trainer in Nigerian Post Authority. This morning, I'm going to speak on parenting. You can't talk about parenting without mentioning marriage. What is marriage? Marriage is simply the union between two matured opposite sex adults that agreed to have the sacrament of matrimony. And there are three key things we always know in marriage. What are they? One is procreation, another is parenting, the third one, which is the most important, is well-being of the spouses. So I'm going to talk about parenting now. These days, parenting is facing a lot of challenges. One, because parents these days take job-consuming time. The doctors, the nurses, the engineers, the bankers, all this consume a lot of time. Unlike in those days when the job is mostly farmers, they have time for their children. But now, the job is taking most of the parents' time, both man and woman. Secondly, technology. Technology is good, but I don't know the harm it's doing in parenting now. I don't know if I to say is worse than the good. Even the children you are talking about, even the adults, technology is destroying a lot of things. The parents, the little time they have for their children, they will be on their WhatsApp, they will be on their Instagram or TV watching one movie or the other. Then the children, any smaller, they will even hide with your phone to go and browse one thing or the other, watch one film or the other. You will be pursuing them. So we must put our foot down to make sure all these are taken care of. And no matter the job-consuming time you are doing, the most important thing is to take care of your children. You must make it as priority, no matter the job you are doing. Because if you lose them at that tender age, you've lost them. The money you think you are making will not be of any value again. When you start spending it on sickness, when they are into drugs, if you start spending those money trying to cure them. So it's better you avoid that and give time to your children because they are your first contact. Then, to start with, what is this parenting? It's a process involved in raising children from childhood to adulthood. And these processes involve the physical, knowing what is happening to your children, their feeding and everything. The spiritual, how do you take them to God? Emotional, what happens? Do you have feelings about your children or you just look away? Social, bring them to the world. Then intellectual, the knowledge. People tend to put more emphasis on the intellectual alone. Because some of them, lesson teacher, this, that. It looks like if intellectual is the only thing that is involved in parenting. No, it's just one aspect, minute aspect. So if I'm even to say, you must put more emphasis on the physical, emotional, and the spiritual aspect of it. Parenting involves the two spouses. It's not just father or mother. It is a teamwork for the two spouses. You must put your own voice. As a father, you must put your voice. As a mother, you must put your voice. So that you join the two voices together to raise these children. You can't do it alone. Those who are not opportuned to have their spouse, you know, that is the double work God has given you, and you must do it. I'm going to be taking it one after the other. I'm now going to talk about the stages in parenting, because these stages, each stage has its own pattern of talking to your children. So stage 1, I'm going to link these stages like if you are building a house. In building a house, I'm going to put it into the 4 stages I have of 4 stages of parenting. You have the foundation, you have the structure of the building, then you have the roofing, then you have the the finishing touches in the building. Likewise, the stages we have in parenting. The first stage, which is the early stage. This stage is the discipline stage. When you have to discipline your children, this stage is 0 to 5 or 6 years, as some books may put it. Then stage 2, which is the structure, that is the training stage. This is when you have to train those children to what they want to become. Then the third stage, which is the roofing, that is the coaching stage. And the final stage is when you make them your friends. That is the finishing touches I'm talking about. When you put your this, that, those ones, somehow a building has taken shape with the foundation, the structure, and the roofing. Every other thing is Jara. So from 0 to 5 years, as I said earlier, is the time you must, everything about your children depends on you. Their whole life depends on you. You have to be extra careful in taking care of them, to know where they are, to know what they are doing at any point in time. Your eyes must always be on them. And this is the stage that makes the difference in your children. If you lose them within this 0 to 5 years, it's going to be problem. You will still get them, but they say teach a child the way he will go when he's young. And when he grows up, she or he will never depart from it. Children are copycats. Whatever you do at that tender age, they are copying you. Whatever you do. So don't do anything bad or anything that is not good before them. 1, the family culture must be taught within this time. What are your family cultures? The first one, you have to start letting them know the importance of prayer. Take them close to God. Make morning, afternoon prayers a culture in the family, so that whenever they grow up, they will never forget. I use myself as an example. Our family culture, rosary every evening. You can't run away from it. And God save you, come and sleep there. The bulala you will get, and the hand slap you will get. The next time you will never think of sleeping when we are praying. So some of this family culture, teach them respect. They should have respect for elders. Even when you have maids, house helps, they must respect your house helps. because nobody wants to do house help for anybody. It's conditioned. And you must treat them like your own children. Let your children give them that respect. And the 5 magic words is, at this stage, you must give them those 5 magic words. Please, excuse me, sorry, thank you, pardon me. And I myself, I normally add I love you as the 6th one. So all those family culture is very, very important at this early stage. Equally, whatever you are doing before those children must be the right thing. You don't quarrel with your wife in front of them, because if you do that, that is the only thing they will copy. They copy the bad things more than they copy the good ones. So whatever you are doing before the children, you must do the right thing. Those that smoke, those that drink, please avoid such in front of those young children and teach them how to love. To give to people is very, very important, because some of them you can never collect anything from them because they were not taught that way. And some can never say sorry. There are some men I know, not even men, only men. There are some women. It's difficult for them to say sorry because it wasn't part of their family culture. So you must get all this inculcated in them at this very early stage. So the second stage, which is from 6 to 12 years, this is the training stage. This is when you train them of whatever you want them to become. All the house chores, whatever they are supposed to do, give them free hands to be creative, to be innovative. When they do something, try to encourage them, because now they know what can wound them and what cannot wound them. Unlike the 0 to 5 years, you don't give them that chance. So at this stage, you give them that opportunity to explore the world at their own watch. You don't allow them to explore without looking into what they are doing. So this 6 to 12 years, you teach them how to, all the things they do in the church, the Bible studies, to be lay leaders in the church, to read Bible and read stories of the saints. Inculcate and let them know the stories of some saints, especially their own name. They should know the story of their saints, so that when they are behaving, they can move towards their saint's name. And other saints that started as children, there are some saints that started what they are doing as young children. Even when their parents are very rich, they decide to go part of poverty. Like St. Francis of Assisi, they are very rich, but he left all those things for work of God. So let them read some of those storybooks, read the Bible, and some of this sex education you introduce to them gradually. So the third stage now is the the 13 to 18 years. This is exactly where the problem is. At this stage, some of them will be doing, don't you know I'm grown? Don't you know I'm an adult? I must do this. Mommy, it's not, I'm no more a child. Then is at that stage, the boys will start developing their baritone, and they will think they are mature, they've grown. The ladies, their breasts will start coming out. They will now feel, oh, I'm now an adult. But then they are not. That is the only time you must put rule in your house and enforce such rules. Because if you don't, it's going to be very, very difficult. At this age, if you're a child, I have not told you, Mommy, I don't even know if you are my mother. Or Daddy, I don't even know if you are my father. The way you are treating me, I don't like it. Then you know you've not started parenting. If you've started at this age, you know that it's not a child's play. It's everywhere. You will think it's only in your house. So whatever you think you are experiencing in your own house is everywhere, is in all the houses. So at this age, you must put your foot down. And sex education must be told to them raw as it is. The consequences and what God says about it. Your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. So you use that to talk to them, so that whatever they are doing, they will remember what God says about immorality. My body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. So at this stage, please, parents, correct them. And whatever correction you are giving them, tell them why you are doing what you are doing, so that they will now understand, discuss with them. Then the next stage, which is from 18 and above, that time is when they are now your friend. You can discuss freely with them. Don't make them your friend when they are 12, when they are 5, when they are 13, when they are 7. If you do that, you are losing it. They can be your friend when you can now discuss freely with them as adults. That is when the finishing stages in the house I talked about. So is that time you can now make them your friend. You will still correct them. If they are still going wrong, you must still correct them. They are not above mistake. Even when they enter their husband's house, if you still see anything wrong they are doing, you must still tell them. You can't just say because they are married. Anyone you see, eku melo onu afu eku me ndo Kenya. So whatever you see that is going wrong, you must say it to them, speak to them. So having said that, you see that this parenting from 0 to they are in their husband's house, your eye will always be on your children. It's when you like, I've lost my parents, that is then I'm no more a child, I've grown. But once you still have your parents, you are still a child. Still accord them that respect when they correct you. Then after having said the stages, then there are types of parenting. The types of parenting, they are about 4. 4 of them. We have the authoritarian, authoritative, passive, and not involved. I will take them one by one. The authoritarian parenting is when, like parents, they don't want their children to be heard at all. They think that is their world. Whatever they want is what happens in their house. You will see some houses, if any of the parents is entering, you will see all the children, they will take cover, they will dive because of fear. That is not respect, it's fear. When the parents are not home, what they do will marvel you. So that authoritarian parenting, for me, is not the best. Children must be heard. That is taking me to the authoritative. Children must be heard. And you have communication with them. You discuss with them to arrive at an important decision. Whenever you have discussion with your children and agree on something that they have to do,